tri-state area Jeep dealer. Get a great deal at the Jeep Make This the Summer event, and you'll be saying "I can" all season long. By Prevagen and by Optimum. Don't take slow for an answer. Get Optimum Fiber Internet. Visit Optimum.com for details. The MLB Journey to 30 sweepstakes is the ultimate MLB fan bucket list. Visit MLB.com/Journey to 30 sweeps for your chance to win trips to all 30 ballparks. Working on a win presented by Home Depot. Highest batting average in the American League this year. Well, the Royals are second behind the Tampa Bay Rays. Good for them.
And he added a lot to the last two games.
Military Appreciation Night at Citi Field. Had the helicopter flyover. Watch out for the fireworks. Christian Scott's first pitch coming right up.
Team Pro on us.
From Little League home runs to record-setting hit streaks and everything in between. 28 runs on 32 hits last night here at Citi Field, and Christian Scott will try and put an end to that. Here's the Hyundai starting line for the Royals. Same 9 that started last night, but Matt Quatraro has shuffled them around a little bit. Jack Caglione moves up to the 3 hole. Salvador Perez down to the 5 spot. Tyler Solberg, 12 straight hits before he was finally retired last night by A.J. Minter, tying a major league record.
And there's Christian Scott's numbers on the year. I mentioned the walks in the Open. That has been his problem. Ups his pitch count. I really thought he finished strong his last start in Atlanta, Gary. In that 4th inning, he struck out the side, but he was at 80 pitches, and I guess that's his limit. And it's too bad they couldn't have built on that inning. And your defense, your Genesis Metropolitan defense, the outfield is pretty much set. Alvarez back behind the plate. Same crew. Will they have the same amount of líneas tonight as base hits, folks?
Mets going with their Friday black uniforms on Wednesday. Royals are going old school with their powder blues like it's the 1970s. Carter Jensen, Kansas City native, leads off. Christian Scott's first pitch is outside, and we're underway. Jensen 1 for 5 last night. You know, the top of the Royals order didn't do a whole lot last night. Jensen was 1 for 5. Witt was 1 for 6. Caglione was 1 for 6. But the guys at the bottom had huge nights, and the Royals wound up with 19 hits after scoring 15 runs against the Phillies on Monday. 16 last night, the first time in Royals history they've ever had back-to-back games with 15 or more runs, and their history dates back to 1969.
Yeah, the bottom 4 in that lineup scored 10 runs. 8 runs. 8 of the 16 runs. So half of the runs were produced out of that bottom of 4 in the order. It was an offensive night, that's for sure.
And pitchers also walked 11. And Scott throws his first strike. 3-1 to Jensen, leading off. Matt Quatraro now in his 4th year with the Royals. They had winning records each of the last 2 years. Went to the postseason in 2024, but very different story this year. 16 games under, same record as the Mets. Good cutter there by Scott in on the hands of Jensen, and he gets the count full.
Well, both teams have the exact same record on the year, 38 and 54.
3-2 coming to Jensen, and the breaking ball in there for a call strike 3. Got him looking at a slider, and Scott comes back from 3-0 to get a strikeout to start the night. Well, the Royals are not completely out of it because, you know, nobody in the AL Central is more than 4 games over 500, but languishing at the bottom. Cleveland has really missed Jose Ramirez. They've gone 8-12 since he went out. Here's Bobby Witt Jr. Again, Witt didn't have a huge night last night. Went 1 for 6, drove in a couple of runs. 6th in the American League in batting, 4th in base hits, 4th in doubles, leads the league in stolen bases.
Yeah, he got a stolen base last night and was thrown out once.
And Scott fires one in at the knees, and it's 1-1.
He's got a nice compact swing. Liked what I saw from him last night. It's the first time I've been able to really watch him. I've been looking forward to watching him over 3 games. Deep in the box, another hitter on that line. Close to the plate.
Good slider there by Scott. A ball and 2 strikes on Witt.
That's a very effective pitch right here to a right-hander. It's a sweeping breaking ball there, hard to lay off.
Tries another one and couldn't get Witt to bite. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bobby Witt Jr. grew up in Colleyville, Texas, where his dad was a fireballing right-hander for the Texas Rangers. 2-2 coming. Pulled on the ground over the bag. Bichette with the off-balance throw, and not quite in time to get the speedy Witt.
How many times last night did we see balls hit on the infield, double plays that weren't turned, potential double plays, and plays like this where the speed of the Royals, that they just beat the throw. Hung that slider, and he can fly.
Excellent play by Bichette, getting to that ball and getting the throw away, but Witt was too fast. And so a 1-out base runner. Now Scott has to be wary of the steal. Witt was caught stealing last night. He's 30 for 35 this year. Long hold by Scott, and a broken bat looper on the left side. On a hop, Bichette's got it. They'll make the throw to first in time to get the slow-footed Caglione for the 2nd out. A shattered bat on the first pitch by Scott. Witt moves up to 2nd, 2 down.
I was surprised he moved Caglione up to the 3rd spot in the order. He's got a long swing, and Scott throws hard, and there you go. He just sawed him off.
So 2 out, a runner at 2nd, and now Lane Thomas, who had a huge night last night. Still collecting pieces of the bat. Part of it wound up out near Brett Beatty at 2nd base. Thomas was 3 for 4 last night. Couple of doubles, 2 RBIs, a great diving catch in center field. He is the only hitter in this lineup who's ever faced Christian Scott before. Hitless in 3 career at-bats against Scott, who's facing the Royals for the first time. And a first pitch slider off the plate for ball 1.
Christian puts a lot of effort into every pitch. I think as he becomes more confident, he'll relax a little more and take it down a tick. You know, when you're trying to make your niche in the big leagues, it's a lot of anxiety. You're trying to establish yourself, and once you do, then it's the weight of the world off your shoulder, because now you got the confidence.
And Thomas takes a cutter for a strike, and it's 2-1. Salvador Perez DHing again tonight. He's hitting 5th in the order.
He drove in 2 last night.
Beatty trying to keep Witt close at 2nd. And Thomas swings and misses it up and away fastball, and it's 2-2. Last night the Royals had 23 at-bats with runners in scoring position.
What did they leave 13 on last night? Something like that.
They went 9 for 23 with runners in scoring position. It's pretty good. Breaking ball popped foul backing out of play. It's certainly a lot of opportunities, but think about it. They had 19 hits, 11 walks, and a hit by pitch. That's 31 base runners in 9 innings.
And it added up to 16 runs, Gary. It's 7 doubles and 2 home runs.
And Thomas fouls one back. The losing pitcher last night was Matt Seelinger. It was a An awful spot to put a guy in, making his big league debut. But the Mets just didn't have anybody else after Austin Warren failed to get an out. That really backed everything up, and Andy Green felt terrible about it, but he really had no choice. Seelinger was DFA'd today. Breaking ball fouled back, and Warren, who has had 2 bad outings in a row, last night gave up 5 runs without retiring a batter. He went on the injured list today with a forearm strain. The good news is that they had an MRI. He was fearful of it being a ligament problem. The MRI came back with no ligament damage, and so Warren has already had 1 Tommy John surgery. Hopefully will be able to avoid another. 8th pitch of the at bat coming to Thomas. And the fastball got him looking. Side retired. 2 strikeouts remain for Scott as he works around the infield hit by Wynn. That's come to bat at the bottom of the 1st with no score. Little hoop in the park. Good team basketball. Nice reverse. Outstanding. Nothing like a little 3-on-3. On the Mets starting lineup tonight, same as last night except for the catcher. Francisco Alvarez catches rather than Torrens. Last night, A.J. Ewing, 4 for 4, 4 runs scored, a home run, and a stolen base. Only the 2nd player in Major League history to do all those things in a loss. The first was Joe Morgan with the Astros in 1965. Steven Cruz, the opener tonight for the Royals. He's a hard thrower and a huge fella. And Ewing takes outside for ball 1.
His 27th appearance, 2nd start.
And he's quickly behind 2-0, and that's something you expect from Cruz. You have to wait him out. He averages over 5 walks per 9 innings. 27-year-old from the Dominican Republic. Last pitch Monday against the Phillies, a scoreless inning. And Ewing cracks one to deep right center field. Back goes Thomas to the warning track, and it's out of here. A.J. Ewing strikes again. A leadoff home run. 4 for 4 last night. He homers for the 2nd straight night. 1-0 New York. First career leadoff home run for A.J. Ewing.
He crushed that one. 2-0 count. And you don't have to have a big swing to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Boy, he is just shining, getting better every day.
And now Juan Soto has hit 3-run homers each of the last 2 nights. 9th inning in Atlanta on Monday. He hit one in the 4th inning last night that gave the Mets a 9-4 lead before the Royals ran off 12 unanswered runs. Soto now with 20 home runs for the year.
You know, Juan's red hot, and he got that pitch out over the plate and up. And I've seen him hit too many home runs on that pitch.
So Ewing with the leadoff home run. The Mets have now had leadoff home runs from 5 different players this year. I can't imagine that any team's ever done that before. Benj did it, Soto did it, Bichette did it, Lindor did it, and now Ewing leading off the 1st inning with a home run. Soto badly fooled on the slider by Cruz for the 1st out.
Let's see Ewing's home run. What do you get? Oh, fastball down the pipe. And he made him pay. Got a very compact, level swing. Good eye on the plate. It's an ideal leadoff hitter, and he's only going to get better.
Andy Green said today, I want him to continue to be aggressive. And he said that in reaction to Ewing saying that he feels very comfortable at the plate. He said, I don't want him to be comfortable. I want him to be aggressive. And he showed his aggression on a 2-0 pitch. Something that honestly a few weeks ago, as Caglione snags the grounder for the 3-1 putout, a few weeks ago he's taking that pitch on 2-0.
Yes, I agree. And you know, your manager tells you what to do, you're going to do it, and it's good advice. And the Royals defense, brought to you by your Tri-State Chevy dealers. I highlighted Bobby Wood Jr., but I'm going to highlight Michael Massey. They say he is an excellent glove, and it gives them really, really strong defense on that infield up the middle.
Massey and Witt are the only two healthy players as far as their starters right now, with Vinny Pasquantino, the regular first baseman, on the injured list, as well as Michael Garcia, their outstanding defensive third baseman. Lindor is still trying to get into some kind of groove. 0 for his last 11, and in 11 games since coming off the injured list, Lindor is just 8 for 45. That's a 178 clip. Francisco had his usual slow start to the season, but was just coming around when he suffered the calf injury that knocked him out for 2 months. Now trying to get it restarted.
Well, I guess the medical staff feels very confident that he has healed that calf. And he's playing pretty much every day. In the beginning, they were kind of spotting him, giving him a day off.
Well, he had a DH game the other day. Gave him a half a day off, and see what happens from here. The Mets, after today, only have 4 more games till the All-Star break, and that'll give Lindor and everybody else a little extra time to heal. Same thing with Jorge Polanco, who came back with a bang last night, and a tough first couple of at-bats, and one looked great after that. 1-2 coming, and Lindor goes down swinging on a nasty slider by Cruz. Inning over, but A.J. Ewing's home run puts the Mets up 1-0.
I'm Barry Colstein. I am a violin maker. 5 years.
1-0 New York. Christian Scott facing Salvador Perez and turns him away with a first pitch fastball. Perez 2 for 5 last night, a double, 2 RBIs. He's been having a devil of a time this year, but his bat seems to have come alive the last 3 days. And a big double on Sunday against the Phillies, and the 2-run homer Monday, and a good game last night. Flies one down the right field line. Bench giving chase, but that'll be out of play.
Christian's motion very compact. A lot of pitchers, no wasted movement. It's almost like golf. Everybody's just taught to be very direct.
Keep it simple.
Yep.
Fewer moving parts, better the mechanism operates. 2-1 to Perez, with Michael Massey and Nick Lofton to follow against Scott, who's making just his 21st career start, and facing Salvador Perez, who's had 15 years in the big leagues. He's the Royals captain. Oh, up and in, and it's 2-2.
You know, the front foot of Perez, we've known for years he does this. Watch the tap. Boom, there, then a leg kick. Got to pitch him upstairs.
Tapper past the mound, overcomes Lindor to get it, plenty of time, and throws out Perez one away.
Well, when you get jammed, it's like 2 pitches ago, you just beat, and you just break down your swing because you're trying to, you haven't got a chance. You just beat. And it's too late just to stop your swing.
The line is just burned. Oh, here's Michael Massey.
That was all over the place today.
It was, and with good reason.
I didn't see it.
I mean, who
didn't
knew?
Look for it.
Who knew that you were going to go there?
Well, you know, we gotta entertain at times here.
Is that what we're doing? See, I was told that we were just filling the space between the commercials. But you know, you do it in entertaining fashion.
Well, we just can't have a dry broadcast, can we, folks? We can't. We gotta have a little humor, especially this year.
If it's wet, does that mean there's bourbon involved?
No.
2 balls and a strike to Massey. It was 2 for 4 last night. So I posed the question, had the Mets ever had a season where they had 5 different leadoff hitters hit leadoff home runs in the first inning? And the answer is yes.
Really?
It happened once before in 1962.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
First year of the franchise.
That makes sense. Casey.
40 wins, 120 losses, but 5 guys hitting leadoff homers. Bench catches Massey's fly ball. Julio Chacon, Richie Ashburn, Joe Christopher, Jim Hickman, and Felix Mantilla. And they all hit their leadoff home runs at the Polo Grounds, where it was only 257 down the lines. And
on both lines?
And 500 feet to center field.
I didn't know the left field line was short.
Well, it was a
center field was a monster.
It was a Polo Grounds.
Right.
It was an oval.
So center field was a beast.
You know, when they put the Dodgers in the LA Coliseum, they didn't do it that way. They turned it so that the left field was short and right field was extremely deep.
Right.
And they had the screen up in left field. And Wally Moon, who was a left-hand hitter, would hit pop flies over the screen. They call them moonshots.
Well, to me, the stadium in Houston has a real short left field porch.
Randy Dobnak up in the bullpen. He's expected to be the bulk reliever tonight.
Well, Nick got this one. Got a fastball right down the pipe.
Strike 3-1. Lofton went 3 for 5 last night, 2 doubles and a home run. Building at a third base these days with Michael Garcia on the shelf with a hand injury. And that fastball's right there, and it's 3-2. Tyler Jones, the rookie umpire, calling the balls and strikes. Manny Gonzalez, Tom Hanahan, and the crew chief Ron Kolpa on the bases.
Good pitch inside corner.
Tyler looks like he's about high school age.
Yeah, he does.
We know better. 3-2. Lofton with a late swing foul. Like the emergency hack there down to the end of the Mets dugout. Lofton, a Baylor Bear, first round draft pick by the Royals in 2020. 4th year with Kansas City. And that just missed for ball 4. So Scott issues his first walk of the night.
This is not really important, but just, did you know that my uncle on my mother's side, Uncle Jerry, played basketball at Baylor? He was a Baylor grad. That's going back.
I did not know that.
Well,
I knew that your nephew played for Lamar.
Yes, he went to Lamar,
right?
And he was signed by the Mets.
You've got a lot of Texas in your blood.
Definitely on my mother's side. Absolutely.
There's Isaac Collins. Collins drew 3 of the 11 walks the Mets issued last night. He has one of the lowest chase rates in the major leagues, and it showed last night. He was on base 4 times, a double, and the 3 walks. The last 9 games, he's got an 1191 OPS. One to Collins, who was a rookie with the Brewers last year. Traded for Angel Serpa. You know, the Brewers called up another young, speedy guy last night, Luis Lara, just 21 years old. Scored from first base on a double that didn't get to the warning track.
Yeah,
they breed those guys.
That's what they want, and they are fun to watch. I like the team. I love their manager. 2 years in a row manager of the year.
And Pat Murphy said after the game of Lara, he fits right in here. They're going to keep him around, even though there really isn't a place for him to play every day.
And they swept the Cardinals yesterday in that doubleheader.
And Scott, after walking Lofton with 2 outs behind on Collins, who's not a guy who's going to go out of the strike zone. 3-1 with the scorching hot Tyler Tolbert waiting on deck. And Collins fouls away a fastball. 3-2.
Yeah, pushed the Cardinals 10.5 back. It was a big double loss for them. The Brewers are hot.
And the Cubs have gotten hot again too. They won 17 of the last 23, but the Brewers have the 2nd best record in the National League behind the Dodgers. And they're only 1 game behind the Dodgers. 3-2 hit in the air down the right field line. Bench coming over near the sidewall. Does he have a play? Jumping, and he can't quite get there. Yeah, the Cubbies are red hot right now. Alex Bregman has finally gotten going. They sit in the first wild card spot, the Cubs.
Well, I tell you, when the Cubs were here, the first time I got a chance to really watch Pro Armstrong, and boy, did he impress me.
Bizarre year it's been for the Cubs. 2 10-game winning streaks, long losing streaks. Now they're back on the winning side. 3-2. Young playing behind the runner. Lofton gets set to take off. And Collins lines one into center field for a base hit. Lofton will be able to go first to third.
There's the speed right there, Garrett. Base. It's a hard hit ball up the middle. Lofton.
Well, Tyler Tolbert last night made some history. 2-run homer was just the third of his major league career, and then he added 4 more hits after that. Second straight 5-hit game. 12 hits in 12 plate appearances, tying a major league record before the Mets were finally able to retire him his last time up. And all of that from a guy who has had fewer than 100 big league at-bats in his career. I mean, think about that. 12 straight hits, and he has barely gotten his foot wet in the big leagues. Last year he was used mostly as a pinch runner and defensive replacement. This year, because of injuries, he's got a chance to play a little more and taking full advantage.
Well, we talked about the speed of this ball club. Lofton on the run. Of course, he's going to go first to third, but still, look at the speed. It is. We got a view like overlooking the infield, and it's just so apparent how fast they are.
And Bobby Witt's probably the fastest of the Royals, but the guy at the plate is extraordinarily fast as well. 3 of his hits last night were infield hits. The last one was a check swing hit for the record, and a check swing foul. So already it's going better for the Mets. 0-1. Tolbert now has had 48 at bats this season, and he's hitting .396 with a .976 OPS. His OPS is just a shade behind Juan Soto. This is a guy who languished in the minor leagues for 6 years coming out of UAB because they didn't think he'd ever hit. They thought he would just be, you know, a Terrence Gore type, just be a pinch runner. Well, it's proven to be more than that, at least for this stretch. By the way, the record for most hits in 3 consecutive games is 14. Mike Benjamin did that with the Giants back in the 90s. Tolbert last night became only the 3rd player in history to have back-to-back 5-hit games. Roberto Clemente was the last. I mean, think about that. Kid who wasn't expected to hit.
I know.
All the time in the minor leagues. And now he's Roberto Clemente.
Well, he's in the record books.
It's been the 28th pitch of the inning for Scott. He's had trouble getting deep into games recently.
Nothing wrong with that pitch. Nothing wrong. I actually kind of like it. You know, he's not going to hit this. It's just a message. Get him off the plate.
One-two coming to Tolbert. And the breaking ball popped up. Beatty retreating. Calling. Catching. Side retired. Scott works around a couple of base runners in the second. 1-0 New York. Carson Bench hoping to get a trip around the bases like last night.
Well, E1, E1, E3. It's a hand grenade coming in. And then an E5 and 3 runs score. And that's were spotted 3 runs with a gift. And that was the beginning of a wild night.
Well, it started with a hit for Benj, who had 2 hits last night. And he's now had at least a hit on 11 out of his last 12 games. Randy Dobnak is in to be the bulk reliever for the Royals. Second appearance for the Royals.
He's got a full beard. Yeah, he made his Royal debut last Thursday against Tampa Bay. Went 4 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs.
Randy Dobnak, now 31 years old. He's one of the great success stories. Little dribbler out in front of the mound, and Dobnak is on it. He hand grenades it to first, and he gets benched for the out. Dobnak was not given any Division I offers coming out of high school in Pennsylvania. He went to Alderson Broaddus University in West Virginia, a Division II school. And when he came out of college, he wasn't drafted. Not only wasn't he drafted, he couldn't find a job even with the prominent independent leagues like the Atlantic League or the Frontier League.
The pitch is called a strike. The batter's
It's called a strike. Polanco's challenging it. So Dobnak went and played in the United Shore Professional Baseball League, and that was a strike. So left lose a challenge in a low leverage spot. What new?
Goodness.
So he went to play in the United Shore Professional Baseball League in Michigan for the Utica Unicorns. That's not Utica, New York. That's Utica, Michigan. He worked as an Uber driver on the side. The Twins found his video on YouTube and scouted him that way. They didn't even see him in person. They were desperate for pitching. That's pulled on the ground to second, and Massey throws out Polanco. And so they offered him a signing bonus to come and join their organization. They gave him $500.
Oh, he took it.
$500.
Yeah.
Not $500,000. Not 1947 $500. This was 2019.
I'm sure he was grateful.
And then he came up with the Twins in 2019, and he was an instant sensation. There's Jared Young with 2 out. He pitched in 9 games that year in 2019 for the Twins. 5 starts. He had a 1.59 ERA.
That's a great story.
He is the first player ever to make it to the major leagues out of the United Shore Professional Baseball League in Michigan.
Well, you did your homework on this guy, Garrett.
It's kind of like Kodai Senga coming from the developmental leagues in Japan and making it. So Dobnak's just a great story. He's kind of kicked around the last couple of years, mostly in the minor leagues, and now getting a chance for a second appearance with the Royals.
Now, he's not a hard thrower. You can see the sinker ball pitcher. And probably a little sneaky, a little four-seamer there. Good location. He's a guy that's going to have to hit the corners to keep it down, up and in, down and away.
This is his 41st career major league appearance. Young hits one down the left field line. This season, get a Baja for a blast when a Mets home run clears 420 feet. You can score a free 20-ounce Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Register now at BajaBlastHomeRuns.com to unlock the offer. Shot foul. When Dobnak finally made it to the Twins in 2019, they called him up late. But there was only one problem. His wedding was scheduled for the last day of the major league season because he figured the minor league season would be over.
Right.
And he wasn't expecting to get a big league call.
Now, the minor leagues go longer today. Right?
Now they do, yeah. So, so he got excused from the last game of the season. And his teammates in the Minnesota clubhouse were able to watch his wedding on live stream. That's inside ball 4, and Young is on the walk. So the Mets have a 2-out base run.
That is a great story. Perseverance. I'm glad you researched that because I enjoyed listening to that. One of the few times I've enjoyed, you know.
Imagine that.
You had me locked in.
Oh boy, here's Brett Beatty. Beatty's hitting 7 straight games after a double last night. And he swings and misses at a down and in changeup. 0-1.
Where did you get all that info? Where did you delve into? What did you delve into?
You know, the internet is far and wide and broad. I was telling somebody tonight, the biggest problem these days in preparing for games is knowing when to stop. Grounded to first, Caglione takes it himself because you could spend 24/7.
I'm glad you did, because that was a great story.
Insider will have the latest tonight.
Third inning, 1-0 New York. Let's check in with Steve Gill. Steve?
Gary, here with Kelsey Whitmore, who is this year's recipient of the Amazing Mets Foundation Award that the Mets Foundation has given out for the last 4 seasons to people that are making true impacts in the baseball community on and off the field. And you know, I don't know that anybody justifies that title more than you, Kelsey. A true trailblazer, couple of the many accomplishments. First woman to play in the Atlantic League, and then the first overall pick in the inaugural draft for the Women's Pro Baseball League. For you, when you hear trailblazer, do you think of yourself as somebody that is trying to push an impact onto the next generation?
Honestly, you know, when you do what you love, it comes with, you know, playing instruments and accolades. I've just done what I love and been and just doing anything I can to inspire young girls that anything is possible if you really put your mind to it and your heart to it. And so at the end of the day, just trying to do what I love and compete out there.
When was the moment?
You know, it might sound crazy to say, but like, I've had the fire burning in my heart since I was 6 years old. Like, I just knew I wanted to play this game at the next level, at the highest level. I was going to do anything I could to make it happen. When I signed my first pro baseball contract, that's when I knew, like, all right, this is possible. It's not going to be easy, but this is possible.
What are the interactions that you have with young girls across the country when you're out playing? I mean, you even played for the Savannah Bananas. You've done so much. What are the types of things you get back from these little girls who are seeing you accomplish this?
Oh, man, I see the little 6-year-old version of me in them, and I just want to impact them so much. You know, growing up, being a woman in baseball, there weren't many other females that I really was able to look up to playing this game professionally. So my goal and my dream is to be what I didn't have for those young girls, and for them to just see me and be like, hey, like, I see it, so I can be it one day.
I love it. As a dad of a 4-year-old girl, I hope she watches you as much as humanly possible. Congratulations on all you've accomplished, and good luck with the inaugural Women's Pro Baseball League that starts up this August. Thanks so much for the time.
Thank you. I appreciate you. And to all young girls out there, always be you. That's the best version of yourself that you could be.
100%. Kelsey Whitmore, great message, great talent. Back to you guys.
The former Staten Island Ferry Hawk and Oakland Baller, played in the Atlantic League and the Pioneer League. A true trailblazer. Only appropriate she should play in the Pioneer League. She is a true pioneer. Bobby Witt Jr. swings and misses at an up-and-in sweeper. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, a lot of times we find first pitches that guys, women can't really throw very well. Well, Kelsey's a real deal.
Congratulations.
Witt had an infield hit on a ground ball over the third base bag his first time up. And Scott dots the outside corner beautifully to get Witt for the second out. Third strikeout for Scott, and they've all come on called third strikes.
Got the corner. Good pitch. Too close to take if it missed. I don't think it missed. Pitcher's pitch.
So Scott needing a quicker inning. 2 out and nobody on. Jack Caglione takes up and away for ball 1. Scott threw 20 pitches in the first inning, 29 in the second. This is his 13th or his 12th start, and he's had at least one 20-pitch inning in every one of them. Caglione today was announced as one of the competitors in the home run derby this year.
Well, he's a big free swinger. And I noticed that Christian on his glove has that index finger. Oh, no, it's his middle finger. I'm not sure. Probably his index finger under that. Oh, that's an easy out right there. But that's probably because he was tipping pitches with his index finger.
1-2-3 inning for Scott. 1-0 Mets in the third.
More
from Randy Dobnak as we start the bottom of the third. Alvarez sat last night. Alvarez sat last night and a couple of hits on Monday in his last start in Atlanta. And takes fastball in the corner for a strike, 1-1. Alvarez, then Ewing and Soto for the Mets in the third. To Alvarez. Randy Dobnak was with Seattle's organization earlier this year. The Royals got him in a cash deal a couple of weeks ago, and now making his second appearance, both in bulk relief. He went 4 innings against Tampa Bay last Thursday. And Alvarez down swinging on a sweeper. So Dobnak has his first strikeout, 1 down in the third. And now A.J. Ewing, who supplied the run in this game with a leadoff home run in the bottom of the first. We mentioned it was the 5th different Met to hit a leadoff home run this year.
Fastball, 2-0 count. Andy Green told him to be aggressive, and you get a 2-0 count. You go up there and you get a pitch to hit, jump on it. Don't look for a walk. Remember when Nimmo was leading off and early in his career, Gary, how he would take all those pitches. And it took him forever to turn it around and start swinging at that 2-0, 3-1 pitch.
Well, Nimmo made a conscious decision to trade his on-base percentage for more slugging. I mean, he was a guy who would normally be 380, 390, 400 on-base percentage, as Ewing lofts one to right, and Tolbert got a late start but comes in and makes the tumbling catch for the second out. I don't think that Ewing is going to be willing to do that. I think that he's so conscious of getting on base.
Nice play by Tolbert there. A soft liner. He thought it was hit harder.
So 2 out and nobody on. Now Juan Soto, who struck out against Steven Cruz in the first inning. Cruz worked as the opener, gave up the Ewing home run. Now Dobnak in his second inning. And Soto taking all the way for ball 1.
Dobnak is an old school throwback pitcher, not a hard thrower, control pitcher.
There's only one Met in the batting order tonight who's ever faced Dobnak before, and that's Francisco Lindor, who would have faced him when he was with the Guardians and Dobnak was with the Twins. 2-1 to Soto. Soto chops one foul on a changeup, 2-2.
Well, there's no overthrowing and 100% every pitch with Dobnak. Watch his motion, folks. Hardly follows through. That's why he can spot the ball, move it around. That's his game.
Well, he fits right in with this Royals pitching staff. Kansas City has struggled with their pitching this year, in large part because they don't strike people out. Now, that could be a good thing if you're a particularly effective finesse pitcher, but it certainly has hurt the Royals this year. And Dobnak is one of those guys who is not looking for strikeouts. He's looking for soft contact. Soto takes changeup low and in, 3-2.
There's the motion. So it is effortless. It's very controlled.
Soto started the night leading the National League in both on-base percentage and slugging percentage. He's having a phenomenal year. And he takes the walk. So after striking out his first time up, Soto draws a walk. You know, Soto has now walked 51 times and struck out 40. So that's a plus 11. And that is the best positive walk to strikeout ratio of any player in the majors. Stephen Kwan is the closest at a plus 9. And it's no aberration for Soto, who 3 times has led the major leagues in most walks versus strikeouts. He was a plus 52 more walks than strikeouts in 2021, a plus 39 in 2022, and a plus 10 with the Yankees in 2024. Led the majors in all those years. The biggest gap between walks and strikeouts in Major League history, not surprisingly, belongs to Barry Bonds. He was a plus 191 in 2004. 191 more walks than strikeouts in 2004. That's lined into center field, a base hit for Bichette. Soto pulls in at second, and the Mets have 2 men on.
Wasn't there the case where, who, I forget the manager who walked with him with the bases loaded?
That was Buck.
Yep.
When Buck was with the Diamondbacks, he walked in a run, brought the winning run to third base, the tying run to third base, and then Brent Maine was up next for the Giants, and lined out to end the game. There's Francisco Lindor, who struck out his first time up. Lindor 4 for 9 in his career against Dobnak. Right now 0 for his last 12, and in a spot where he can drive and run. It's need Lindor to get it going. Their offense has been pretty good without him, at least the last few days. 29 runs in the last 3 games coming into tonight. But if you can get Soto, Bichette, and Lindor all going at the same time, it's just a whole different look. Lindor cracks one to deep right field. Back goes Tolbert to the warning track. Back at the wall, he leaps and he hung on. Oh, wow! Tyler Tolbert. What a show this guy's putting on.
Jeez.
12 straight hits, and now he saves a couple of runs with a gorgeous leaping catch to retire the side.
Wow.
Hit the wall hard and hung on to the baseball. Thumb up, Perez and Massey to follow. After wrapping out 16 runs and 19 hits last night, tonight the Royals no runs and 2 hits so far against Scott. I am told that that is the sun. Is that right, Truck? That is the sun, right? Okay, I've got confirmation that was the sun. It's only one. At least, you know, in this particular solar system.
They used to think that the sun was revolving, orbiting around the Earth.
Till Copernicus came along.
Yep. I can see that back in the day.
Of course.
Yeah.
A lot of things people believed in back in those days.
Yeah, the Earth was flat.
Some of those things they still believe in. 3-2 coming. That's drilled to left field. Soto going back, and he's there to make the catch. 1 out.
Just think if the Earth was flat, there would have been no exploration to the New World.
Well, that's what the folks on Columbus's ship were afraid of. They were afraid they were going to sail off the edge of the Earth. Hey, Mr. Columbus, turn the ship around. 1 out, nobody on.
Mutiny.
Here's Salvador Perez. Perez grounded out to short his first time up. He has not thrown his splitter tonight. It's his off-speed pitch. Everything going right to left.
Up and in, down and away to the right-handers. He's got a good fastball, kind of runs in, makes a statement on that inside part of the plate, and then he's got that breaking ball to go away. Or pop the fastball in the outside corner.
Another ground ball right at Lindor. So this is a little unusual for Christian tonight, at least so far this year. He's gotten 5 of his first 11 outs on the ground. Get to Citi Field early this Saturday, July 11th, for the Mets block party presented by Ford. Enjoy some of your favorite ballpark food and drinks, entertainment, and games. Visit Mets.com/block party for details. So Scott's retired 6 in a row. Here's Michael Massey, who flied out to right his first time up. And Massey takes a fastball right there for a strike, 0-1. Michael Massey out of the University of Illinois, now in his 5th year with the Royals.
Fighting Illini.
He rips one into right field for a base hit.
There's that flat breaking ball that you got to be careful against left-handers. Scott does.
So there's the 3rd hit of the night for the Royals, all singles.
Yep, and I remember Ronnie saying, see, it's over the middle. You're going to throw that flat breaking ball. You better make sure you get it inside. I remember Ronnie saying that he did it one time early in his career when he was a rookie, and Rusty hit him with the bat on his shin and said, don't do that to left-hand hitters.
How did him getting hit in the shin make him remember that?
Who, Ron?
Yeah.
Well, because
I mean, that's a little old school in terms of how we drill things into people. Lofton flies one out to right center, and Ewing has a beat on it. And that retires the side. 4 scoreless innings for Christian Scott on a 1-0 lead. Some little leaguers.
Oh, yes.
None of whom are Keith's grandkids. The Crushers of New Brunswick. Sorry.
Very
Keith.
nice.
I couldn't help myself.
That's okay.
What a great smile that
Some
is.
people can't take
Look
a
at that
joke, you know.
protective helmet.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Oh, look at this. He's contemplating.
Mulling over his next move.
Yep, I swung at that bad pitch.
He's thinking of stealing a base. Hello, Hawks.
Nice.
Which one's Vinny?
All right.
Don't miss the chance to have your youth baseball or softball teams pictured, featured in an upcoming game on SNY. Just scan the code. We'll show you the code in a minute. Just scan the code and submit your team photo today. Where's that code? Oh, it's coming. And there it is.
Quick, scan it.
Ball and a strike to Carson Benj leading off in the home 4th. Benj had a comebacker his first time up. So earlier today, the Blue Jays played in San Francisco. And Dylan Cease for the Blue Jays took a no-hitter into the 9th inning. John Schneider let him go out there for the 9th at 115 pitches. He gave up a leadoff hit to Elliot Ramos to break up the no-hit bid. Wound up at 118 pitches, which is the most for any pitcher in the majors this year. Tonight, the Pirates are playing the Braves in Pittsburgh. Jared Jones, 6 perfect innings, 77 pitches. He's out of the game.
Unbelievable.
Now, he's coming back from major arm surgery and is a younger pitcher. I understand the difference, but that's twice now this week. Yuri Perez with the Marlins, 7 perfect innings and 92 pitches came out, and now Jones 6 perfect at 77 pitches. Slow bouncer for Massey. Quick throw, not in time. Benj with the speed beats out the infield hit.
High chop.
Carson now has a hit in 12 of his last 13 games. And now Jorge Polanco grounded out his first time up. Talking to Andy Green before the game today, he saw what we saw last night. Polanco looked a little overmatched his first 3 at bats, but his last 3, he had a home run about 3 inches foul, hit a stinging double to right center, and a well-struck fly ball to left. So it's almost as though he needed those first 2 at bats to kind of get himself back in the groove after missing 73 games. I mean, this is a big-time hitter that the Mets were expecting a lot from this year. He didn't get off to a good start.
It was just so apparent he was swinging in pain early.
Pulls that one on the ground, handled by Massey, out at second. The rest is easy for Witt, but Polanco beat it out. Wow, running on the bad wheel. Didn't expect to see Polanco be able to sprint like that, and he beat the Rapid first.
Ball was hit hard. Witt was kind of in an awkward position, and he did beat it.
Wow. That was a little shocking to me, Keith. I did not expect him to be able to go like this.
Well, that's good to see.
Yep. So 1 out and 1 on for Jared Young. Young drew a walk his first time up.
That ball was hit fairly hard, too.
I mean, Massey had to go a step or 2 to his left, but still.
You try to put a left-hand hitter and you try to pull Dobnak, you're playing right into his hands. He runs that sinker up there. You're going to get it. That's his bread and butter. And you think that left center field gap. Oh no!
Got to eat that a little faster, champ.
That looks good.
It'll be chocolate soup after a few more minutes. That's hit toward right center field, but Tolbert coming over. And he's got it, 2 out. By the way, did we mention what a nice night it is?
It is a nice night.
77 degrees.
After that
heat
heat wave,
breeze.
we missed the heat wave.
Well, last night it was cold. It was in the 60s and it was misting, and it's a perfect summer day. Here's Brett Baty, who grounded out his first time up. Polanco at first and 2 out. So as you might have figured, we're having a very different kind of game tonight.
Yep.
For all the histrionics last night.
I like watching a pitcher like Dobnak. He knows he can't make a mistake over the middle.
Grounded right to the first baseman Caglione, and that retires the side. After 4, 1-0 New York. There's our beautiful metropolis.
Yes, it is.
Look at that city. Just spectacular.
Yes, sir.
Top to bottom. Same city, different rendering. Christian Scott, 4 scoreless innings tonight. He has not gone 5 in any of his last 3 starts.
Only 1 walk. This is a good outing. He's really pitching a good ball game.
We'll get 8, 9, and 1 in the Royals batting order. Collins, Tolbert, and Jensen. Isaac Collins had a base hit to center his first time up. And he takes the first pitch, cutter for a strike, 0-1. The Mets, the last 4 games coming into tonight, had given up 45 runs. There's only been one 4-game stretch in Mets history in which they've given up more than 45 runs in 4 games, and that was in 2017 in September. They gave up 49 in 4 games. So they needed somebody to go out there and do exactly what Christian Scott is doing. Just stem the tide. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Collins. Tyler Tolbert on deck. Kind of the way Justin Verlander has for his entire career. Justin today announced that at age 43, this is going to be his last season in the major leagues. And Major League Baseball is going to bring him to the All-Star game as a legacy player. Fly ball out to right center. Angling it is Ewing. And he's got it. Around the Majors brought to you by MSK. 266 wins. That's the most among active players. 3,554 strikeouts. 8th on the all-time list. Also #1 among active players. 3 Cy Young Awards. MVP in 2011. 3 no-hitters. Just one of the outstanding careers in the history of the game.
24-5 with Detroit in 2011. 21-6 in 2019 with the Astros.
And he wasn't here for long. He was only with the Mets for 4 months in 2023. But it was great to watch him. It was great to talk to him, to get to hear how he handles things. And to me, you know, you talk all the time about pitchers going all out on every pitch. Verlander, through his career, going back all the way to the beginning, has always been a guy who would start out throwing 92 and then save the 97 and 98 for when he needed it.
And he knew how to pitch up and in right here, too. And he was aggressive up and in, and that's the key to success. I had a conversation with him, and he said he was told that coming up in the minor leagues. And boy, oh boy, 5 times he led the league in strikeouts. 8 times or 9 times he had over 200 strikeouts. And in 2019, at the age of 37, he struck out 300.
Yep. And that was after coming back after missing a year. And it's fitting that he went back to Detroit to finish where he started.
And there's another up and in pitch. Even if you miss, you're not letting that hitter lean over the plate. The toughest pitch to hit, unless you're a dead pull hitter, is the pitch up and in. Why? You can't extend your arms out. You got to be quick inside. And it's a pitch I learned. If a guy threw hard, I would work in BP. If I got a pitch up and in, I would take it and discipline myself so I wouldn't swing. Now, I looked in a lot, particularly first pitch and particularly in RBI situations, because I knew the book was in on me. And I would look fastball, always fastball, middle in, and then you can jump on that. But that was the toughest pitch for me, especially if it has movement running in, a left-hander running in on me. It's a tough pitch.
Swing and a miss, and Tolbert down on strikes. That's the 4th strikeout for Scott, 2 out of the 5th.
Well, the up and in, and then he goes away here with a fastball.
So Scott trying to get through 5 for the first time in his last 4 starts. Tobias Myers, who was just recalled today, is up in the Mets bullpen. Myers came back, and Xavier Curry, former Cleveland Guardian, also joining the Mets today. Carter Jensen's 0 for 2, struck out and grounded out. I mentioned earlier that Matt Seelinger was DFA'd and Austin Warren placed on the injured list. Again, the news on Warren is good. No ligament damage in that right arm. He was really emotional before the game today, before he got back the MRI results. You know, Austin's been a fringe guy for a long time, and he finally found his footing this year with the Mets, and he's gone through Tommy John surgery once, and the last thing he wanted was another one. He said his concern level was at a 10, but hopefully he's got a little relief now. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jensen. Jensen, a Kansas City kid, just 23 years old. He is their catcher of the present and their catcher of the future. Showed off a great arm last night on a couple of stolen base attempts. Alvarez has to call for time to beat the pitch clock. Spectrum high-speed hitting. The Royals scoring 15 runs in each of their last 2 games. First time in their history they've done that. They are a contact team, a line drive hitting team. Interestingly enough, they have better success against off-speed pitches than they do against fastballs or breaking balls.
Well, I think the reason there, when you're a contact team, you're not swinging out of your shoes. You're more controlled. The only real long swinger in this lineup that I've seen first 2 days is Caglione.
1-2 to Jensen, and it's pulled foul. The Marlins are at it again tonight. They're up 2-0 on the Mariners. You know, Miami's only 3 games out of first place.
Yes, they are.
They were 14 games behind a month ago. They made up 11 games in a month. Swing and a miss. Got him with the back foot sweeper. And Scott gets through 5 without allowing a run. The first 15,000 fans of this Saturday's game against the Red Sox will get a replica Devin Williams jersey courtesy of Hyundai. For tickets, go to Mets.com/tickets. Home 5th inning, Mets up 1-0, and if you have a jersey or a T-shirt, swing it around. Why wear it?
Yep. Okay. I'd like to see him do it in April
or October. Really like to see him do it in October. One of these years. 2-0 to Alvarez, who struck out his first time up. Randy Dobnak starting his 4th inning of relief. The only run of this game came on the 3rd pitch of the bottom of the 1st when A.J. Ewing hit a home run. Ewing's on deck. Alvarez chops one foul on a sinker. 2 balls and a strike. Well, there's every chance Christian Scott is done because they've been pretty judicious with his pitch count since he came back from that brief stint on the injured list. This is only his 3rd start back. 90 pitches through 5 tonight. And if it is the end, it'll be his 3rd scoreless outing this year. 3-1 to Alvarez.
He is what you call Mr. Dobnak a nibbler, and it's not a derogatory statement.
Chop toward 3rd, charging is Lofton, throwing on the move, and gets Alvarez one away.
Knows how to pitch.
So now Ewing, who hit the leadoff home run in the 1st. We mentioned it was the 5th different Met to hit a leadoff home run this year, which tied a club record. And it's now 1 shy of a major league record. The most different hitters to hit leadoff home runs for a team in the season is 6, and it's happened twice. The first time it happened was in 2019 with the Rays. And 3 of the 6 were Mets at some time. Joey Wendell, Tommy Pham, Travis d'Arnaud. Travis d'Arnaud hitting leadoff. Austin Meadows, Brandon Lau, Yandy Diaz. Right behind the bag at second. Witt is there to throw him out. 2 away. And then the 2022 Giants had 6 different guys. Jock Peterson, Lewis Brunson, Lamont Wade, Luis Gonzalez, Tommy La Stella, and a guy who would later play for the Mets, Austin Slater. So there you go. Here's Soto with 2 out and nobody on.
Let's see how Dobnak attacks Juan. He pitched him very carefully.
There's his OPS by pitch type, so it looks like you have better success getting him out with the changeups. Tries a changeup and Soto fouls it off.
Went right after him here. Head 0-2. He threw a beautiful backdoor slider to start him off. Outside corner. And then this was a pitch to hit that Juan missed.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I got you. Love that. That's another changeup, and it's 1-2. Soto. He almost hit out of the catcher's mitt.
Yep. That's the one thing. Juan will chase that ball up in his chin and neck area. He'll chase.
31-year-old Randy Dobnak, just his 2nd appearance for the Royals.
Juan does not go after too many, doesn't swing at too many breaking balls that are the bait breaking balls. Try to get him out of the strike zone.
Especially with 2 strikes. He's so disciplined with 2 strikes. And that's how you have more walks than strikeouts.
Yep. I mean, he struck out his first at bat off of Cruz, and Cruz just threw a major league hard slider. That was going to get a lot of hitters.
He had sort of tied in the knot. You just don't see that very often. That's in at the knees, and Soto's going to challenge the call.
It's low.
Pitcher called a strike. The batter challenging.
That's down to 1 challenge, so he needs to be right. And he is.
Pitcher the ball. New York has 1 remaining.
ABS powered by T-Mobile. So it's 3-2 to Juan. Bo Bichette would be next. The Royals, no runs, 3 hits. The Mets, 1 run and 3 hits. Tobias Myers ready in the bullpen. Looks like he's coming on in the top of the 6th behind Scott. And Soto bounces 1 foul on a slider running in. Myers just back from the minor leagues today. Made only 1 appearance for Syracuse during his stint down there.
This is really, folks, right now, this at bat here, Domnack is pitching like a 15-year veteran. I mean, he has just been kind of fun to watch this battle. He's be willing with 2 outs, he'd be willing to walk him, but he has made some pitches and Juan's fouled him back. But it's been fun to watch this at bat.
10th pitch coming, and it's lofted into shallow center field. That goes Wint. In comes Collins, and Collins puts it away to retire the side. So Domnack gets 1, 2, 3. He's thrown 4 scoreless. 1-0 Mets after 5.
Bank of America.
Well, Tobias Myers hoping 10 days in the minor leagues proves fruitful, because his 4 outings in June for the Mets have been, well, they've been awful.
Well, he's just had a tough time, that's for sure.
Bobby Witt Jr. leads off in the 6th and takes a splitter down for ball 1.
He's right over the top. He's got a straight fastball, and he's had a tough time with his split finger. That is, his secondary pitches has been his issue this year.
Ball and a strike to Witt with Caglione and Thomas to follow. Myers 4 outings in June. He has a 14.54 ERA, so he knows he needs to get back on the beam. And some terrific outings for the Mets in a multiple inning role earlier in the season. Trying to get back to that. A guy who's been a starter, he's been a short man, he's been a multi-inning reliever, fill a lot of roles when he's right. And Witt pops one up on the right side. Beatty waiting for it. 1 out. So 1 out and nobody on. And we check in with Steve.
So, guys, I have a postscript to last night and Matt Sealinger's Major League debut, which obviously results-wise, it was a very, very difficult Major League debut. But let me tell you something. He gained a ton of fans in that Mets clubhouse for what he did. Obviously, waits forever to make his big league debut and has that 7-run disastrous first inning, and then decides, I'm going to go back out there and I'm going to keep going. And he puts up zeros in that 8th inning. After the game, every single member of the Mets bullpen went up to him and said, hey, what you showed us tonight was a ton of character. Do not put your head down at all. Plenty of people would have hung their heads and said they didn't want to go back out there. You did the opposite, and wherever it goes from here, you fought your butt off to get to the big leagues, and then you proved in that 8th inning that you could pitch in the big leagues. And only 22,000 people or so as Caglione into the gap, and he's got a stand-up double. So only 22,000 people or so have ever been in the big leagues. You got yourself in the arena. Never forget that.
And hopefully he's going to be able to get another opportunity. So Caglione drills a double to right center, and all of a sudden the Royals have the tying run in scoring position with 1 out. Lane Thomas, the batter, he struck out and lined out to left. So Myers need to dig in right from the get-go. Grounded to third. Bichette on the backhand will make the long throw right on target. Beautifully done by Bichette to get Thomas for the second out as Caglione moves to third.
Boy, Caglione was coming down the line. He could have held that ball and tagged him out, but he didn't see him, I don't think.
With his momentum carrying him so far from the bag, that would have been hard to change direction.
You know, that's a bad base running blunder right there. He could have ran it out of an inning, and probably didn't expect that at all, Bichette.
Now Salvador Perez with the tying run at third and 2 out. He takes outside ball 1. Perez been up twice, grounded out both times. As bullpen has been such a strength all year, Alvarez couldn't find it. Myers coming in to try and help him out. And Caglione, who doesn't run well, going nowhere.
Breaking ball in the dirt. Oh, it hit off his glove on an awkward end on the cushion part, not the pocket.
Mets bullpen has been such a stalwart for this team all year, but the last few days, not so good. Perez fouls away a hanging slider, and it's 1-2. I mean, those are the last 4 games. So the fact that they have been strafed in those 4 games will make the numbers a lot uglier than they were.
Right.
But the bullpen has still been the strength of this team, particularly the guys at the end of the game.
No question.
1-2 coming to Perez. And he fouls it back. A high fastball from Myers.
Well, they're saying that Perez, the Royal people are saying that Perez has been lost a little bat speed. I'm not seeing it.
Well, the last few days he has certainly been able to turn some balls around. 36 years old. He's done a lot of catching in his career. These days mostly playing first base and DHing. 1-2 coming. And just missed outside. 2-2. 314 career home runs, just 3 behind George Brett, the all-time Royals franchise record.
1,000 RBIs plus. That's impressive.
2-2. He's able to hack that one foul.
He stayed in the at-bat there. That was a pitcher's pitch. That makes me think that he's leaning over the plate. Might want to try to come up and in. He's protecting that plate.
Perez able to lay off the sweeper, and now it's 3-2. Like Massey, the on-deck batter. Nobody up behind Myers in the bullpen. Double to Caglione. He's at third with 2 out. "3-2 coming. And Perez pops one foul. And we'll get another one.
And another battle at the plate here.
Salvador Perez, a 9-time All-Star. World Series MVP. Royals beat the Mets in 2015. He's the last player left on either team from that matchup.
Likes the ball down, belt down.
9th pitch of the at-bat coming from Tobias Myers. And he lights one into left field for a base hit to tie the game.
Well, he's swinging the bat good.
So Salvador Perez on the 9th pitch of the at-bat drives in the first Kansas City run of the night to tie the game at 1.
Never threw a pitch. He's trying to, he wants it down, but he's also trying to deke Perez like he's setting up inside. And Perez is a veteran, not biting at all. Covered. That was a good pitch, location wise.
6 RBIs now in his last 4 games. Myers throwing a lot more sliders in this inning than we've seen. He's a fastball splitter guy. Massey pops one up behind the plate. That'll go out of play.
Tony Pena of the Pirates and the Cardinals, and mainly the Pirates, used to always do that. Tap his glove and try to play mind games with him. And with the Cardinals, he did it all the time. I didn't like it.
That's a guy.
Two good pitches up in there. Two very good pitches up in there. We were just talking about that earlier.
Mets in both games of this series have played behind Perez when he's on first base. You see many base runners that they do that against, but he's obviously one of the slower runners in the game. Fielding depth for Young with the left-hand hitter up. 1-2 coming. And whip right to Young. They'll retire the side. So not holding the runner served the Mets well. Young was in just the right spot. Royals tie it at 1.
.com/fireworks.
Tie game, bottom of the 6th. Bo Bichette leads off and takes a strike from Randy Dobnak, who came in to start the 2nd inning and has thrown 4 scoreless so far. 67 pitches through 4 innings for Dobnak. He's thrown as many as 93 in a game in the minor leagues this year.
He's putting on a little pitching clinic.
Bichette had a base hit against him, a single to center in the 3rd. And he gets a breaking ball and drills it to left, but Collins retreats and makes the grab. Another hard hit ball off Bichette's bat for the first out. And now Lindor, who thought he had an extra base hit his last time up, but with 2 men on in the 3rd, Tyler Tolbert went up against the right field fence and made a terrific jumping catch and then hit the wall hard and was able to hang on to it. Positive sign for Lindor, who has had nothing but trouble since coming back from the injured list. Now 0 for his last 13, and he takes a fastball for a strike from Dobnak.
Oh.
Still awake. Big fan. Sean Manaea gets the ball for the Mets tomorrow afternoon. And Michael Wacha, who's going to the All-Star game for the Royals. That's a head scratcher.
5-6 record
presented by Burbage, and a 3.5 ERA. And Sonny Gray, who's 10-1 with a 2.5 ERA, is not going. I mean, I got to understand if the Royals didn't have a player going, you know, every team has to have one. But you know, Bobby Witt is going. There's no reason that Wacha should be on the All-Star team. I mean, we love Michael. We have since we first saw him in spring training as a Cardinal many years ago.
Yes, yes.
He had 1 year with the Mets, and he has had some really nice years since he left the Mets. But this is not his best season. By the way, speaking of All-Star snubs, we were talking about Zach Wheeler last night. After Wheeler threw another gem for the Phillies last night, he addressed it. And apparently Wheeler was told that since he's scheduled to pitch on Sunday that they would not take him as an alternate. Now they take players in the first wave who are going to pitch on Sunday, and then they replace them, but they wouldn't take him in the second wave and then replace him. Grounded to first, and Caglione has it, and Wheeler was pretty incensed about it. I mean, the year that he's having, particularly when you consider that he's coming off thoracic outlet surgery, there's no excuse for Zach Wheeler not being on the All-Star team. Agreed. Seven in a row retired by Dobnak. And now Carson Bench. So it's 7, it's 8 in a row. Bench had the last hit, an infield single in the 4th.
I think major league hitters aren't used to a pitcher like this here, and they get befuddled.
It's what they used to talk about having a comfortable 0 for 4.
Yeah. They're not used to a guy throwing through a brick wall, painting their wagon. A little here, a little there, a little off here, a little more there. Who knows what he's doing?
So what would you tell the hitters if you were trying to counsel them?
Well, I think he's a sinker ball pitcher. Whenever you got sinker ball pitchers, a right-hander and have left-hand hitters, you're going to get the sinker. And just you don't want to try to pull this guy. You want to go up the middle. And you got time.
And Benj gets one off the glove of Massey and into right field for his second hit of the night. Nice effort by Massey, and he just barely got a tip of a glove on it. So Benj has the Mets' fourth hit, and he's got half of it.
2 for 3 off of Gobnak, just off the tip of the glove.
Now Polanco, he's been up twice. Hit the ball on the ground both times against Dobnak.
Hit the ball hard at the second baseman both times.
Second game back after 2.5 months on the injured list. And he hits another one hard at the second baseman. Need to find another spot. Side retired. After 6, Mets won, Royals won.
Comfortable 0 for 4.
Seventh inning in a 1-1 game. Nick Lofton leads off against Tobias Myers. Second inning for Myers, who gave up the tying run in the 6th, now facing the lower third of the order. Lofton, Collins, and Tolbert for the Royals. Lofton has walked and flied out 0 for 1. Stays high, 2-0. Christian Scott went 5 innings, no runs, 3 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, lowered his ERA to 3.17. That's ripped down the left field line. Lofton's got himself an extra base hit. So Lofton, who had 3 extra base hits last night, pulls in at second with a leadoff double. And the Royals have the lead run at second with nobody out.
Well, this is the part of the game right now. You're in the 7th inning in a tie ball game. You've got a leadoff double. If you don't drive him in, you've got to get him over.
I have to tell you that I was a little surprised to see Myers go back out for this inning.
I am too. I was too.
All of the Mets' A relievers, and we're talking about Raley and Weaver and Williams, had the night off last night. You got the All-Star break coming up in 4 days. There's Isaac Collins. And so it was a little surprising to see Myers not look great in the 6th inning, sent back out for the 7th. But there's nobody up behind him in the Mets bullpen, which must mean at least one of those guys is not available tonight. Collins 1 for 2, single to center in the 2nd. And he pops one up. Is it playable? Alvarez coming back, and he runs out of room. Andy Green was talking about this yesterday, about pitchers, relief pitchers, and their availability, and he says it's a constant conversation that you know, there are some breaks that are put on by the sports science people, but mostly it's about the pitchers and how they feel on a given day. You know, sometimes a guy who's pitched 2 days in a row is feeling great and pronounces himself available, and sometimes a guy who hasn't pitched in a couple of days is still a little sore and can't go out there. And we never know on a daily basis, but these are the obstacles that managers everywhere have to negotiate in an era where bullpens are more important than ever. One and 2 to Collins, and he got him looking. One of the few splitters that Myers has thrown tonight. Normally a big pitch for him, but he got that one for his first strikeout.
This one just froze him. It's not a good one, Gary. It's up. It's right there. He just didn't expect it, and he froze.
You know, it has seemed at times earlier this year that maybe Myers was overusing his splitter, and he hasn't done that tonight. Tolbert drives one to center. Ewing chases it back and makes the catch. And that's the second out.
You don't get the runner over. You get him over, it's a 2-1 ball game.
So now Myers with a chance to get through it after the leadoff double. He's going to get through the leadoff hitter Carter Jensen. Jensen's 0 for 3 tonight. Struck out twice against Christian Scott. Now his first look at Myers. Jensen takes a slider that just missed. Ball 1. Royals tonight are 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position after going 9 for 23 last night. Kansas City scored 15 runs on Monday against the Phillies, 16 runs last night. The first time in their history that they've ever had 15 or more in back-to-back games. Two 0 to Jensen, and he gets that one in for a strike. 2-1. This is the guy you got to get. Bobby Witt Jr. waiting on deck.
Oh, the big out was the strikeout of Collins. And he's got to get out. He's not out of the woods yet.
And Jensen takes that splitter for a strike, and it's 2-2.
That was a better one right there.
I think he's got a little more element of surprise with it since he hasn't thrown it as much tonight.
I think you're right.
Lofton at second and 2 out. 2-2 coming. It's too high. Full count. Had to go upstairs after the splitter and didn't miss the top of the zone by much. Now the full count to Jensen with Witt on deck. And it's inside ball 4. He did not swing.
It was up
Pitch
too.
is on the ball. The catcher's challenge.
And Alvarez is going to challenge the call.
It's up. It's got to be up.
And it is
Pitch
up.
of the ball. New York is out of challenges.
So the Mets use their final challenge on ball 4 to Jensen. And now Witt's going to come up with 2 men on. That was more of a hopeful challenge than anything else by Alvarez.
Have to get the big guy out.
This is interesting. It's a time when you would expect the pitching coach to come out for a visit.
You know, as a hitter, Gary, in this situation right here with Witt and you got Caglione behind him, and they're talking on the mound, they want you to think, oh, we're going to pitch around him and go after the guy behind me. I would always look fastball because sometimes they try to sneak that first fastball by you, and I would always never look anything but a fastball that first pitch. And if they weren't going to sneak attack me, and I'd jump on it.
Witt tonight has an infield hit in 3 at bats, 2 on and 2 out. Tie game 7th inning. And Witt takes a fastball for a strike. Well located by Myers to get ahead. Witt just 2 for 9 in this series, but he is an explosion waiting to happen.
He's swinging the bat good. Right after
Another fastball, and now it's 0-2.
How many times have I seen that happen?
Now if he can throw him a good split down out of the strike zone, he's got a shot. Oh, 2 coming to Witt. And he lifts one foul. Breaking ball that time.
Want to have a better pitch than that. 0-2.
Again, the 0-2. Get it to bite that time, and it's 1-2.
That's the pitch you want to make. See if they go fishing. You're still way ahead in the count, Gary.
Lofton at second, Jensen at first with 2 down. 1-2 coming. Line to right. Benj is there. Side retired.
Well done.
Myers tiptoes through trouble in the 7th to keep this a tie game at the 7th inning stretch. Home 7th inning, Jared Young leads off New York against the former Utica Unicorn, Randy Dobnik, who has just been marvelous tonight. 5 scoreless innings as the bulk reliever. And Young tops one up the first baseline. It goes foul. Young hops over it. It's 0-2.
He's got the left. Go ahead, Garrett. The road ahead.
It's presented by Infinity. Got a day game tomorrow. Got the Red Sox coming in. Apple has the game Friday night. We'll be with you on SNY Saturday. Pick Sunday. Then it's the All-Star break. We don't do the first game out of the break. That's ESPN. So Keith gets a longer All-Star break.
Yes, I do. We start up Saturday.
And you're off this Saturday and Sunday too, right?
Yeah, I'm going to miss the Red Sox series.
Well, tomorrow is your last game before the All-Star break.
Yeah, I'm going to be a good week. I can just recharge.
Good for you. You deserve that. Weak ground ball right at Massey. I mean, who deserves it more than you do?
Well, you deserve it more than I do.
Nah.
Do more games.
No, I'm not as old as you are.
No, but you're close.
Not that close.
You're old enough. You're old enough. And you work, I mean, you do the lion's share of the games, and I don't know how you do it. But,
well,
you are.
I guess that makes me king of the booth.
If you were
lion's share.
If you were back in revolutionary times, you'd be a Minuteman.
No. You and I would both be generals. We would not be on the front lines. Come on. Brett Beatty, a ball and a strike. So the Braves got 2 in the 8th and 1 in the 9th to beat the Pirates 3-0. The Marlins won again tonight, tied behind Tyler Phillips. So Miami wins their 5th in a row. They stay 3 games behind Atlanta. Since the 1st of June, the Marlins are now 25-8, the best record in the major leagues.
And Phillies losing late, 7-3.
If the Phillies lose, they fall into a second-place tie with the Marlins.
How about that?
Both those teams are in playoff position.
Well, I just missed. Let me tell you, there's the National League East. Nationals over 500.
Beatty goes down on strikes on the changeup from Dobnak. Just his second strikeout, but he has been in firm command.
He threw Beatty 2 backdoor, got ahead with 2 backdoor sliders, and then threw a fastball and then threw the changeup to get him. And he's just putting on a clinic here.
Also tonight, the Rays shut out the Yankees 3-0. Tampa Bay's now 5 games up on the Yankees in the AL East. The Yankees have now lost 15 of their last 20. Here's Alvarez. And Shane McClanahan tonight for Tampa Bay. He's having a wonderful year. He and Drew Rasmussen. Rasmussen's on the All-Star team for the American League. Dobnak throws a little bit of everything.
He has been fun to watch.
Complete with the rec specs. And now behind in the count for a rare time tonight. 3-0 to Alvarez. Ewing on deck. They've got the lefty Matt Strom up in the bullpen. So this could be the last batter for Dobnak. And he walks Alvarez on 4 pitches. So that puts the lead run aboard. We'll see whether Matt Quatraro makes the move. And here he comes.
What a brilliant effort from Dobnak.
Dobnak goes 5 2/3 scoreless innings, but leaves with the go-ahead run on base. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Nissan. Shop NissanUSA.com. A.J. Ewing led off the bottom of the first with a home run. That's been the only Met marker tonight. And that home run means Mets fans scored 2. Unlock your free 20-ounce Baja Blast by registering now at BajaBlastHomeRuns.com. Matt Strom, who threw 23 innings, threw 23 pitches in the 8th inning last night, comes right back for more.
Oh, the old Philly. Seen him a lot with the. Always odd to see the guys in different uniforms when someone's been with a team for a while.
Back in Kansas City, where he began his career, he faces Ewing, who had a bloop single against Strom, who gave up a run in the 8th inning last night. Gets his first sinker in for a strike.
Ewing around 2 weeks ago was hitting on the interstate against left-handers. He has raised his average coming into this game against lefties to .239. He's hitting lefties.
Alvarez an extremely short lead at first base. And Ewing takes a fastball that just missed. Ball and a strike.
There you go. And that was quite a rise he's had against those left-handers. He was under 200 for quite a while.
He was sitting against some lefties, including Chris Sale in the last series, but he's gotten some rope now and taken advantage. Slider caught the outside edge, and it's 1-2.
I like his approach with left-handers. He stays in, keeps that shoulder tucked, goes right at the pitcher. And he's got a nice level, quick bat. And he's going to hit lefties.
Juan Soto would be next. And Ewing takes it high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Randy Dobnak went 5 2/3, 3 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, no runs, but responsible for Alvarez at first in a 1-1 game in the 7th. Ewing is 6 for his last 11 against left-handed pitchers, including a home run against Martin Perez in Atlanta. Two. And it's in there for a call strike 3. Ewing
can't make
challenges, but there's no challenge. That's ran out of challenges after Alvarez lost a call in the top of the inning. 1-1 after 7.
You after postgame.
Hey, it's Gary and Jerry, postgame show on the way. I know you're going to have some thoughts on Christian Scott.
Yeah, another 5 zeros, but more importantly, he became efficient in those later innings.
All right, we will have that and so much more. See you at Mercedes-Benz postgame live. Gary.
All right, Gary. Brooks Raley in for the 3rd time in 4 days.
There's his numbers, having a fine year. Is that Jerry Blevins in the studio?
Hey, Jerry.
Jerry's got a Jerry. You have to love to have watched how Dobnak pitched those 5 2/3. You had to love it.
What Keith meant to say is, hello, Jerry.
That was a clinic.
Raley threw only 8 pitches on Sunday and 3 pitches on Monday, so he should be good to go for a 3rd time in 4 days. Jack Caglione, Lane Thomas, and Salvador Perez, the 3 scheduled hitters in the 8th. Caglione doubled and scored the tying run in the 6th against Tobias Myers. Myers went 2 innings, allowed a run on 2 hits, a walk, a strikeout. And now Raley trying to hold the fort in the 8th against the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the Kansas City batting order. And Caglione takes a sinker for a strike, and it's 1-1. Caglione a double last night, a double tonight. 14 home runs on the year. And he hits this one out to right center field. Hit well. Benz, though, should have room.
Got under it.
And he's got it. 1 out. Well, the National League has dominated the American League this year in interleague play. Both the Mets and Royals are 11 and 11 in interleague play. So obviously the Mets and Royals both far below 500 overall against their own league. 500 against the other league. Go figure. Here's Lane Thomas, is 0 for 3, thrown out on a fine play by Bichette his last time up. And Raleigh misses away, ball 1. Thomas drives one to the gap in left center field, and that ball bounces up against the wall. And Lane Thomas pulls into second base with a 1-out double, his 3rd double in 2 nights.
Well, he got a hanging breaking ball here, and so did Caglione.
So now Salvador Perez, who drove in the Kansas City run with a base hit in the 6th. And he takes a sweeper for a strike, 0-1. Amazingly, considering how long both of them have been around, Salvador Perez only has one career at bat against Brooks Raley. Raley, who just turned 38 years old, against Perez, who's 36.
All of the pitches so far have been up from Raley.
This is flying out to right center. Could be playable for Ewing. Going back to tag now is Thomas, but he'll stay put. And Ewing gets it into the cutoff man. 2 out. Now the left-hand hitter Michael Massey is due up. It looks like we're going to get a pinch hitter, and I think it's Starling Marte. Yeah. So Starling, who got the tribute video last night in his first game back at Citi Field, gets his first plate appearance in the series, going up against Raley.
One of my favorites. Very quiet, soft-spoken.
A very nice hand for Starling. Yes. He spent 4 years with the Mets, had a fantastic year in 2022, played hurt for the next 3 years, and was beloved here at Citi Field.
He was a fine player.
A good man. I talked to him a little bit last night. He is one of the best. Go ahead, run at second with 2 out. And Marte takes a cutter on the inside edge, 0-1. Marte 1 for 2 in his career against Raley. He's been used mostly as a right-handed DH, platooning against lefties. And Marte fouls away a cutter, and it's 0-2. Starling is still the active leader in stolen bases, 362. Lifetime .285 hitter. 0-2 coming. Ground ball right at Beatty. Brett makes the play. Side retired. Raley works around the double and keeps it tied, going to the bottom of the 8th. Juan Soto set to lead off for the Mets at the bottom of the 8th. Soto's over 2 and a walk tonight. Tyler Tolbert moves to second base. Starling Marte stays in the game in right field. And Alex Lang is on to pitch the bottom of the 8th for Kansas City. Former Detroit Tiger. Spent 5 years in Detroit. His first year in Kansas City. And he misses down with his first breaking ball to Soto, ball 1.
Thought they might keep Stram in.
I think he pitched so much last night that he was probably not going to do an up-down.
Correct.
Soto's had 1 career at bat against Lang, 0 for 1. Lang was used as a closer at times in Detroit. He saved 26 games in 2023. He's got 8 saves this year with the Royals. Soto, Bichette, and Lindor in the 8th in a 1-1 game. And Soto takes a fastball strike, 2-1. Alex Lang, LSU product, originally drafted by the Cubs. Ground ball on the right side. Tolbert knocks it down, picks it up, throws out Soto, 1 away.
Well, that's what happens when you stay in front. Ball took a bad hop. Keep it in front. Play it off to the side. And actually hit the heel of his glove. But he's in front of it. Well done.
Luke Weaver getting ready. So it would appear, at least at this point, as though the guy not available in the Mets bullpen tonight is Devin Williams. Williams worked a ton on Sunday and Monday.
Well, Brazoban too, I would think.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about the late inning guys.
Okay.
We figured when Myers pitched the 7th that somebody had to be down, and the guy who's down is Williams.
Yep.
Bichette takes outside, a ball and a strike. Bichette 0 for 4 in his career against Lang with 2 strikeouts. Hit the ball hard his last 2 at bats. Single to center, lined out to left. 1 for 3 on the night. And Lang keeping it away from him. 2 balls and a strike. Honda Sports Night comes your way after the post game tonight. Lots more on this game and all the rest of the day in baseball. And the rest of the New York sports news on Honda Sports Night tonight and every night on SNY. Bichette flies 1 foul off the right side. 2-2. Steven Cruz was the opener for the Royals. Gave up the only run the Mets have scored tonight. That was the A.J. Ewing leadoff home run. Randy Dominic 5 2/3 scoreless. Matt Strom struck out Ewing for his only batter. And now Lang working in the 8th. Grounded to shortstop. And Witt throws out Bichette. 2 out. 2 up, 2 ground balls, 2 set aside. And it's left to Francisco Lindor. He's 0 for 3 tonight and now 0 for his last 14.
Whoa, that got away from him. 2 completely different ball games from game 1 to game 2.
Didn't you figure it was going to go that way?
Usually does.
28 runs last night, just 2 tonight. Lindor rides one down the line, but that will go foul. Just got out ahead of that, and it's 1-1. Ball and a strike to Lindor. Spits on that changeup. 2 balls and a strike. Lindor's hit 1 ball hard tonight. He hit it to the fence in right field. And Tyler Tolbert made a terrific catch to save at least 1 and maybe 2 runs. 2-2 to Lindor.
Got a breaking ball right down the outer half and under it.
2-2. He chops 1 foul. Another slider. Cubs and Orioles are playing a wild one in Baltimore. Cubs are up 9-7 in the bottom of the 9th. Pete Alonso and Michael Conforto have both homered in that game. That's lined to right center field, and Lindor's got a base hit. Cutting over is Marte to get it. And Lindor will stop at first with a 2-out single that snaps at 0 for 14 stretch.
Got a ball down where he likes it, out over the plate. Changeup.
And now Carson Bench. Lang is a guy you can run on, but I'm not sure if Lindor feels up to trying to steal bases. Lang's already given up 7 stolen bases this year in 37 innings. Bench is 2 for 3 tonight. An infield hit in the 4th, and then a base hit to right in the 6th. Fastball taken down, a ball and a strike. Mets had 2 stolen bases on Monday in Atlanta. That's been a rarity. They had 1 last night. Lindor scrambles back. Cisco has 2 steals this year. They both came before he got hurt. Lang ahead of the count on bench, 1-2. Carson with 2 hits tonight. He's now had a hit in 12 of his last 13 games. Jensen makes sure that ball doesn't go to the backstop. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jorge Polanco would be next. 2-2 to bench. And that's ball 3. So now a full count to bench, and that'll give Lindor the automatic start. They are playing very deep in the Kansas City outfield.
They certainly are.
That is a classic no doubles defense.
Well, I think Thomas could come in a little bit center. I mean, that's a little bit ridiculous.
Caglione will play behind Lindor, who will be running. 3-2 coming. And he bounces one foul on another slider.
So Caglione is guarding the line as he should.
As for the other side of the diamond,
they are not.
A lot of room.
Yeah, a lot of room.
But the left fielder Collins shaded over toward the line.
That's what they do. Prevent the double if it gets down the line.
3-2 again. Foul back again. And with a fastball that time. Or get that calf a little bit of a workout.
And when you play that line, I don't. They've got the third baseman way off, giving up the line. The left fielder protects the double, but it opens up a big gap in left center.
8th pitch of the at bat from Lang to bench. And he chops another one foul. So this matchup, it's the hard G in Lang against the soft G in bench.
Very good. You get to go to the head of the class.
That's why English is the strangest language.
Yes. There is actually a video out that I saw of an interview with an English professor of linguists. How he was saying why the English language is the greatest language in the world. It was a very interesting interview.
And Bench takes the walk. And that'll get Polanco up with 2 men on. So a 9-pitch walk to Bench, who's on base for the 3rd time tonight. Good and bad. Keith Hernandez and Darryl Strawberry join Baseball Night at New York host Sal Licata for a live panel discussion at Fanatics Fest NYC, the world's #1 sports fan festival. Friday, July 17th, 12:30 p.m. at the Javits Center. Visit fanaticsfest.com for more information. Well, the chance for Polanco, who's 0 for 3 tonight. 3 ground balls to the second base.
All hit hard.
He has seen Alex Lang more than any other Met. 0 for 6 with 4 strikeouts against him. Lindor carrying the tie-breaking run is at second. Bench at first with 2 out. Lang's already thrown 24 pitches in the inning. Knows what Polanco can do. Polanco's Mariners ruined Lang's Tigers season last year with a 15th inning hit that knocked the Tigers out of the postseason. Pulled over the back, just foul. Caglione was playing the line.
Yep. Well, he's pulled the ball this entire game 3 times, so definitely not going to guard the line.
This is only the 2nd plate appearance tonight for the Mets with a runner in scoring position. Lindor hit that ball to the right field fence. And Tolbert made the great play on in the 3rd. And now Polanco with an opportunity in the 8th to get the Mets a lead and hand it off to Weaver. But he's down in the count 0-2. Polanco takes the changeup down, a ball and 2 strikes. One-two coming to Polanco. And he misses low and in with a fastball, and now it's 2-2. Well, he got ahead of Lindor, but gave up the base hit. He got ahead of Bench, ended up walking him. Now he's 2-2 on Polanco. And Jorge rolls over one down to first. Caglione with the flip. From the plate.
And he wouldn't have made it.
And the bases are loaded.
That is just giving a team a 4th out. That is routine. Just a terrible feed by Caglione. Oh my word.
Well, he was late and he threw it behind Lang.
Yep.
I think it just stuck in his glove, Keith.
Well, Lindor is not really busting.
Yeah, that's the thing. He was just jogging to third, so that cost him. And you understand that he's trying to nurse that calf injury.
For sure, there's 2 outs. It's a routine play.
They're going to give Polanco a base hit. That loads him up for Jared Young. Polanco probably can't believe he got a base hit, but you know, take it. So here's Young, bases loaded, 2 out. Jared is 0 for 2 and a walk tonight, with 2 hits last night. And Jared takes first pitch changeup that misses for ball 1.
Well, here's the toss again.
He just couldn't get it out of his glove.
He would have beat it. So it was a base hit.
Grounded down to first, a foul ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jared started the night hitting .321 with runners in scoring position. And the Mets need a 2-out hit. Jose Quas is up in the bullpen. Steve Gelb's favorite Royal. Young takes the changeup up and away, and it's 2-1.
Well, the Royals gave away 3 runs in the first inning last night. And here they are, giving the Mets an extra out.
2-1 to Jared Young, and now Lang steps off. He's already thrown 32 pitches in this inning. Two-one coming, and it's bounced foul again. 2-2. All this has happened with 2 out and nobody on. Lindor with the base hit, Bench with the walk, Polanco with the infield hit to load him up and give Jared Young a chance to give the Mets the lead. 2-2 from Lang. And Young takes it inside and hit him. And the Mets take the lead. A hit by pitch to force in the go-ahead run. Lindor in to score. Painful way to drive in the go-ahead run for Young. And the Mets are in front 2-1.
Oh, my goodness. Cutter, it looked like. Well, there you go. You give the team an extra. It's a cutter. And he didn't even make any move to get away from it.
Not the elbow guard, but it still stung. Must have got him right on the funny bone.
Oh, maybe a little bit of acting, too.
We're going to get a pinch runner for Polanco. Tyrone Taylor comes in to run for Polanco.
Well, this inning should be over.
All this happening after 2 out and nobody on. Single, walk, infield hit, and a hit batsman giving the Mets the lead. Lang's thrown 34 pitches. The most he's had in any outing this year is 38. Matt Quatraro is going to stay with him. And Brett Beatty a chance to give the Mets some breathing room. And Brett fouls off the first pitch. 0-1. Brett has grounded out twice and struck out tonight. Started the night with a 7-game hitting streak. Benj now at third. Taylor the pinch runner at second. Young at first. Luke Weaver getting ready for the save chance. And the cutter misses up and in. The ball and a strike to Beatty. Lang looking like he's running on fumes. And now Xavier Curry is up alongside Weaver. Curry just recalled today. Swing and a miss and a high slider.
I think
1 and 2.
If Beatty hits a double and empties the bases, it'd be Curry. But it's going to be Weaver if it's a one-run ball for sure.
Now Lang trying to stop the bleeding. Ahead on Beatty, 1 and 2. And Brett Lang's one in the right center, a base hit. Benj is in. Taylor scores. Young to third. Brett Beatty drives in a pair, and it's 4-1 New York. That's the way to keep your hitting streak going. 8 straight games for Beatty and some breathing room for the Mets.
Yeah. Big RBI for Brett, who's been swinging the bat much better. That ball, bad pitch right there. Beatty takes advantage.
Well, you could see Lang was running out of gas. Quatraro took a chance, leaving him in to face Beatty.
Taylor's going to score easy.
It's a big hit for Brett to give the Mets a 3-run lead. And now Jose Cuas will come out of the bullpen. 4-1 New York in the 8th. We'll be right back. This may be the greatest lunch lineup in Mets history. You could win a catered pregame meal with us at your home. Scan the QR code to enter SNY's From TV to Table contest today. Brooklyn's Jose Cuas is on to pitch for the Royals.
And there are his numbers. Now he's only got 5 innings, 4th appearance.
Went to Grand Street Campus High School in Brooklyn, onto the University of Maryland. Jose Alvarez first to face him. First and third, 2 out, with 3 runs home in the 8th for New York. And that goes to the backstop, and here comes Young with the 4th run of the inning. First pitch thrown by Cuas is a wild pitch, and the Mets now lead 5-1.
Oh boy.
Held on to it a little too long.
Yep.
Now Beatty in scoring position, and Alvarez takes the fastball down. 2-0.
Well.
Call strike. 2-1. You know Jose Cuas is Steve's favorite player, right?
I forget.
Because he was going to do a game in Cincinnati right after the trading deadline. And Jose Cuas got traded right before the deadline, and Steve had the whole background on Jose Cuas, how he had gone from the Dominican Republic to Brooklyn, and he had a son, and he was a Long Island Duck.
I remember now.
But, oh well. And now, you know, we're at the bottom of the 8th. You can't get that story in, so we gave you the abridged edition. And the other day, when Jose Cuas was called up by the Royals, I texted Steve and I said, Jose Cuas called up by the Royals. You're all set. And then the next day he was sent down. And then the next day they called him up again. And Steve was all happy again. That's line over short. Rick can't get it. Base hit. Here comes Beatty to score. And it's 6-1 New York.
All this with 2 outs, Gary. All of it with 2 outs. And a gift extra out.
So Francisco Alvarez adds a run with an RBI single.
Well, the Royals are stinking it up this inning. Let go with one hand and a slider up.
A.J. Ewing, 9th man up in the inning. All 5 runs charged to Alex Lang, who went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 3 hits, a walk, and a hit by pitch. For most of the night, the Mets' only run was on A.J. Ewing's leadoff homer in the first, but now with 2 out and nobody on in the 8th, 6 straight Mets have reached base and 5 have scored.
That's an ugly line for Lang.
And so Weaver has sat down in the Mets bullpen, and Xavier Curry is going to come on to pitch, and I think that's going to make him the 28th or 29th Met pitcher this year. 46 last year. It's going to be hard to reach. That's line in the left center, a base hit for Ewing. Alvarez trucking around second on his way to third. He'll be held up there. Ewing's got a double. 7 straight Mets have reached base after 2 out and nobody on. Ewing's got his 2nd extra base hit of the night.
Love this kid. Love it.
And now they're going to walk Soto intentionally to fill the bases and bring up Bichette.
And the Mets have batted around.
2nd walk of the night for Soto. And now Bichette with 5 runs already home here in the 8th inning. Bases loaded, 2 out. Bichette's 1 for 4 tonight.
There's the contact off the end of the bat. Let go with one hand.
Alvarez now at 3rd, Ewing at 2nd, Soto at 1st.
So we're getting a little taste of the bullpen of the first 2 games of the Royals, which they're ranked 29th.
Bullpen gave up 3 runs last night. And 5 runs tonight.
That's what you want to do.
And then Bichette goes down swinging to end the inning. But 11 men came to bat, and 5 of them scored. 6-1 going to the ninth.
Nothing outshines a blue moon.
5 runs in the 8th. Give the Mets a 6-1 lead going to the ninth. Christian Scott turned in 5 scoreless tonight.
He had 5 strikeouts. Good fastball outside corner. Another fastball outside corner. He just really was his best performance. That slider got the last out. You saw his reaction. 90 pitches. His best outing of the year.
Pitching decisions presented by Sage, the official finance software partner of Major League Baseball. Xavier Curry makes his Mets debut. First came up with the Guardians in 2022. He was with Miami last year briefly. Signed with the Mets in May. 10 games in Syracuse, and here he is. Trying to finish this one off with Nick Lofton set to lead off in the 9th for Kansas City. Curry was a starting pitcher when he first came up with the Guardians. In fact, the Mets saw him as a starting pitcher in Cleveland early in his career. And Lofton takes his first slider down for ball 1. Curry was born in South Carolina but grew up in Atlanta and went to Georgia Tech, where his catcher was Joey Bart, who we just saw with the Braves. Ground ball hit softly to shortstop. Lindor's got it, and he gets Lofton for the first out. Xavier Curry is a guy that is a rarity in baseball, a relatively short right-hander. Most right-hand pitchers you see these days tower over us.
Yes.
Xavier and I can almost see eye to eye. Here's Isaac Collins taking high, 1 ball, no strikes. Brooks Raley's pitcher of record on the long side. He worked a scoreless 8th, worked around a double by Lane Thomas to get through trouble. Collins is 1 for 3 tonight. He fouls it back. Ball on a strike. Xavier Curry is the 29th pitcher to hurl for the Mets this year. That includes 2 position players. I don't know if they're going to get to 46 this year.
No, how many games left?
Drops a curveball in for a strike, and it's 1-2 to Collins. 69 after tonight, Keith. This is game number 93.
We're almost at the 100 mark. As a player, I used to always love to get to that 100 mark and get out. And to me, it was the beginning of the big push.
Josh Rojas on deck to be a pinch hitter. I mean, they're pinch hitting for Babe Tolbert. That's pulled down to first and handled by Young.
Young's played a nice first base.
So Curry's gotten the first 2 outs on ground balls, and the Royals are down to their final out of the night.
Very sure-handed at first base. Very sure-handed. Well done.
All right. 1 more out to get. Josh Rojas, the former Diamondback, steps in against Xavier Curry and takes a curveball down for ball 1. Ball and a strike to Rojas. Carter Jensen would be next. Christian Scott 5 scoreless innings. Tobias Myers allowed a run in his 2 innings. Brooks Raley a scoreless 8th, and now Curry's gotten the first 2 outs in the 9th. And Rojas takes it just inside. 2 balls and a strike.
The rookie umpire behind the plate, Tyler Jones, has called a very good game tonight.
And they'll be happy to hear that you approved. It's not quite a Zeal of approval, but it's a Keith of approval. 3-1 now to Rojas with Carter Jensen on deck. Net pitchers walked 11 last night, only 2 tonight. Gave up 19 hits last night, only 7 tonight. And Rojas draws a walk to keep the game alive. Day game tomorrow, 1:10 first pitch. Sean Manaea for the Mets, Michael Wacha for the Royals. Game will be on SNY, 12:30 coverage. And the Red Sox are in for the weekend. Jensen's 0 for 3 and a walk. Young playing behind the runner at first. So Rojas takes off and takes second on defensive indifference.
Do you think a pitcher should be penalized with an earned run when you give away a defensive indifference, Gare? I think he should.
You're saying should he not be penalized? Like if he gets a base hit and he scores from second, should it be like an unearned run?
Yeah. No. Okay.
I mean, it's a team decision. Got to be a team player.
Right.
That's pulled into right field, and that'll bring in a run. So Rojas comes in to score. Jensen slides in safely at second with an RBI double, and now it's 6-2 with Bobby Witt coming up. And I would imagine Luke Weaver is going to go back to work in the bullpen.
Well, he should be ready. He probably was soft tossing. Well, there's those at bats I talk about, Gary, that when you're down 5 runs in the 9th inning, 2 outs, you don't give them up.
Well, there's Luke at the ready. Got some seeds going. Now he's got the baseball, and he's ready.
A little stall for time out there on the mound.
Weaver finally gave up a run in his last outing, but it was an unearned run because it came in the 10th inning. 3 runners scoring. That's an automatic unearned run. So he's now gone 26 innings without allowing an earned run. Hopefully, he won't have to work until tomorrow. But Bobby Witt Jr. will have something to say about that. Walking an RBI double. The run is home. And now Witt, who's 1 for 4 tonight. And he takes a slider outside. Tobias Myers got his biggest out against Witt in the 7th. After a double and a walk, he got Witt to line out to right to end that 7th inning and keep the game tied. That's exploded for 5 in the bottom of the 8th. Witt takes that one inside, and now Curry struggling behind 2-0. Jack Caglione is on deck. Two batters away from getting a tying run to bat, so you have to challenge the hitter. Goes 2-0 breaking ball and gets it in for a strike. I mean, there was a time when you would never have thrown a breaking ball in that spot.
Yes, definitely.
4-run lead, 2-0 count.
Yep, I agree. I see it all the time, Gary.
I know. And that one pops the outside corner, and now it's 2-2. And the Royals are down to their final strike.
Interesting how this entire game, all the at bats, the 5 at bats, with Witt, he's taken that fastball on the outside corner.
2-2 to Bobby Witt. Curveball lofted down the left field line toward the corner, of foul ball. Xavier Curry in his Mets debut, 20 pitches deep into this 9th inning. To make sure the Mets don't need to go any further in their bullpen. 2-2 to Witt. Fouled away. Curry got the first 2 outs.
Yeah, you don't want to repeat anything that the Royals had last inning.
7th pitch of the at-bat coming to Witt. He struck it out, and the ball game is over. Xavier Curry puts on the finishing touches after the Mets explode for 5 runs after 2 out and nobody on in the bottom of the 8th. And they defeat the Royals 6-2 to even up the series at a game apiece.
Well, Ewing with his 7th home run right there. Fastball inside to get Witt to end the ball game. Nicely done, Mr. Curry. I'm sure that's a wondrous feeling for you. The Mets got that extra out with 2 outs, nobody on, and the ground ball to first base extended the inning, and the Mets wound up getting 5 runs in that bottom of the 8th, and that's the difference in the ball game.
So after a slugfest last night, the Mets win a better pitch game tonight. Tonight's game brought to you by Moo. Create a Moo account and join Winners Rush, where every Mets win is your chance to win too. Terms and conditions apply. Moo Financial Link member FINRA SIPC. Christian Scott 5 scoreless innings to set the tone tonight, which rarely winds up with a win as the Mets score 5 in the 8th to beat the Royals 6-2. The Amazing Mets Foundation is proud to contribute $2,500 to Northwell Health and the Cast Institute for Women's Health for every Mets win. For more information, visit northwell.edu/cats. The total contribution so far this season is $97,500. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Deals so right they almost feel wrong. Only at your local Hyundai dealer. On Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, because where you're treated first matters. By Bet365, where winning is everything. And by your local Honda dealers. Contact your local Honda dealer today. Final score tonight, the Mets 6, the Royals 2. Rubber game of this series tomorrow afternoon, a 1:10 first pitch. Sean Manaea on the mound against Michael Wacha. Coverage begins at 12:30 tomorrow, right here on SNY. Now for Keith Hernandez, Steve Gelbs, and our entire SNY crew, I'm Gary Cohen at Citi Field. After this break, it's Mercedes-Benz Postgame Live with Gary Apple and Jerry Blevins.